All right. Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. We love to dig into interesting sources, and today we're going to be looking at university jobs in Brisbane, Australia.
Sounds interesting.
It is. We've got some excerpts here from 164 university and higher ed jobs, Brisbane, Australia. And just from this title alone, it seems like a pretty active job market.
Yeah, definitely. 164 open positions. That's quite a lot. And, it really seems to point to Brisbane becoming a real hub, a center for higher education in Australia.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, beyond just like the raw numbers of job postings, it seems like there's, just from reading this source, there's like a real energy, vibrancy to the academic scene in Brisbane.
I agree. It's not just about filling positions. It's about attracting talent, pushing boundaries, building something new and exciting.
Absolutely. And for anyone listening who's thinking about, a career in academia, Brisbane seems like it has, a lot to offer. And one of the things that really stands out to me from the source is the sheer diversity of opportunities.
Yeah.
It's not just like one type of job. We're typing higher education jobs, university positions, research roles. They even mentioned administrative positions too.
Right. There are so many different ways to get involved. You could be on the cutting edge of research, working in a lab at Griffith University. Or maybe you're passionate about teaching, sharing your knowledge with the next generation of students at the University of Queensland.
That's such a good point. I mean, two very different paths, but both within this vibrant and growing academic community. And it really speaks to the breadth of options in Brisbane.
It does. Honestly, the variety is pretty impressive.
Absolutely. And we can't forget QUT. They're mentioned here too as a major employer in Brisbane.
Oh, absolutely. They've got a strong reputation, particularly when it comes to technology and innovation.
Totally. And speaking of a reputation, the source also highlights some pretty, attractive aspects of working in Brisbane in terms of the employment landscape.
Oh, yeah. Things like competitive salaries, diverse research initiatives, strong international collaborations. These are things that can really draw in top talent.
For sure. I mean, it's not just about finding a job. It's about finding a career that is rewarding. And it seems like Brisbane's universities are really putting their best foot forward when it comes to attracting talent.
Definitely. They're making a real effort to be competitive on a global scale.
Absolutely. But here's something that really caught my eye. This source really emphasizes the work-life balance in Brisbane's universities.
Oh, yeah. They talk about flexible hours, family-friendly policies. It paints a picture of a more balanced and relaxed academic life.
Exactly. I mean, we all know that academia can be demanding, but it seems like Brisbane is trying to create a more sustainable and, frankly, more enjoyable work environment.
And that's a huge draw for a lot of people. It can be really appealing, especially maybe if you're starting a family or just looking for a bit more balance in your life.
I think that's a great point. But I do wonder about the reality on the ground. I mean, any downsides? Is it all sunshine and roses?
Yeah, that's a fair question. The source doesn't really touch on that. And honestly, there are always challenges. It's important to do your own research, Talk to people who are actually working in Brisbane, get a feel for the specific work culture at different universities.
That's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement, but it's important to be realistic too. What else should someone considering a move to Brisbane be aware of?
Well, cost of living. Brisbane is a desirable city, and that means housing can be quite expensive. And while the research scene is growing, it's good to remember that it might not have the same depth or breadth as some of those more established academic hubs, like in Europe or North America.
So some trade-offs to consider.
Exactly.
Okay, so to wrap things up, we've looked at the job market, the specific institutions, the benefits, and some potential challenges of working in Brisbane. So what's the final verdict? What should our listeners take away from this deep dive?
I'd say Brisbane's university scene is definitely worth exploring, especially if you value work-life balance and are drawn to the city's unique research strengths. But, it's important to do your research, be realistic about expectations, Informed exploration is key.
Well said. And for anyone who's intrigued by what we've talked about today, you can find all the latest Brisbane University jobs, Queensland Uni jobs, and Australian University jobs right over at academicjobs.com. Happy job hunting.
And as you browse those listings, think about what kind of environment you really want to work in. Does Brisbane's focus on work-life balance, its specific research strengths, does all of that align with your own personal and professional aspirations? I mean, that's something to really ponder as you navigate this exciting, this really dynamic academic landscape.
Absolutely. That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone.
See you next time.
See you next time.